It's Wrestlecon. We're here with Dan the Beast Severn here in New York City. Dan, WrestleMania 35 weekend, of course, a lot of history. First off, just talk about this event. This is wild, right?
Oh, this is it's a strange, if you've never been to a professional wrestling event like the Wrestlecon, it's a must-see, it's a must-do, because if you think that you're strange, you're in good company. There's all kinds of strangeness about us. It's what people wear, it's how people act. I mean, it's a very unique blend.
Yeah, you know, the pride of Coldwater, Michigan here today in Manhattan. And Dan, I watched you in your career in the UFC and being one of those guys that put that sport on the map along with Ken Shamrock. What does that mean now?
Well, I mean, it's, to see how the sport has evolved, because in the beginning, a lot of people were hesitant to think that this sport is going to fail, because back in that no-holds-barred era, when you only had two rules, no biting, no eye gouging, you had a lot of legislators and politicians.
No weight classes.
Oh, David, like I said, it was, but that's what people loved the most about that wild West arena. You had David versus Goliath. You had the biggest weight difference was just over 400-pound weight difference. So bare knuckled, and you had this 8-man tournament concept. So it was a crazy concept that over the years got changed. It had to make changes, otherwise it would become extinct altogether. It has morphed into the single bouts show that it is now, but it's spectacular.
Yeah, it's really special, and obviously you made the transition into the WWE, and had a good run there. A lot of people talk about that.
I want to correct you though first.
WWF.
Okay, no. The fact is, most people don't realize they saw me go from the UFC to the WWF.
Well, you wrestled as well before that.
No, but I was an amateur wrestler, yes.
Yes.
But my first profession in my career was professional wrestling as of the 1992 Olympics.
Nice.
I started working on the independent scene. By 1994, the UFC now became
big. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's where I was always tell people this.
Yeah. Right here, the belts here. This is cool. You got great stuff here. Old pictures here of Dan the Beast Severn here at WrestleCon in Manhattan. Look at this. Here's the belts.
What we wanted to show was that this picture right here represents the only picture taken inside the UFC octagon where a professional wrestler,
NWA
a current NWA champion professional wrestler, is holding up the NWA title along with the current UFC title.
That's his story.
Almost 20 plus years before Brock.
Yeah. And then, and this is great. Dan the Beast Severn giving us some insight about his career. And, your rivalry.
It's history. I want people
I
to
love
understand.
history. I love history. History's great.
Call it history or just grabbing someone by the back of the scruff of the neck and rubbing their nose in reality. I'm also that guy, too.
Oh, yeah. Vicious, down to the mat, ground and pound. Is, that rivalry with Shamrock into WWE, did it play out the way that you'd hoped in wrestling?
No, I'd say that, Vince McMahon, his creative team, they missed out on a great opportunity. Again, were we before our time? Because, now when you look at the plethora of MMA guys that are crossing over into professional wrestling now, it's, we were just, we were before our time, or we were the pioneers of maybe that arena as well.
Boy, and another really memorable moment of your career, you go back to the Hart Dungeon match with Owen Hart.
Yes.
And I think someone got popped through the ceiling, in that one, too.
Oh, no, that was, because that actually was at the Hart residence.
The dungeon.
And, it was for about 3 hours while they're setting up their camera angles and sound system, stuff like that. I'm up in the living room, and I'm sitting down, and I'm talking with Stu Hart.
Yeah.
So that was cool to sit there for 3 hours, listening to him tell stories, but then also he was engaging me with quite a bit of conversation. He has a real liking for the shooter background, stuff like that. And then I saw Owen a couple weeks later at one of the house shows, and then he goes, Owen comes up and he goes, "Here, my dad wanted you to have this." It was an Owen Hart shirt signed by Stu Hart. And so it's like, it really meant something to me, because I knew about the Hart Dynasty. I knew about Stampede Wrestling. I knew about, it was just, to get something like that was nice. Awesome. Unexpected.
Awesome. Well, Dan, just two quick things, and we're all set here at WrestleCon, is Talk to me about, obviously the MMA world is so different than sports entertainment, but Brock Lesnar, you already kind of touched on that a little bit. He's not really a champion that's there all the time, and it's kind of fluxed back and forth with the companies, and I just want your opinion of Brock Lesnar.
I mean, obviously, the man has made a lot of money in both industries, so I can't say nothing bad about that. I mean, ultimately, he's involved in an industry that you don't have a very long career. The fight world is not a long-term career. You're only as good as your next match, and you have a game plan. Your opponent has a game plan. Someone's about to come up on a short end of the stick.
Right. Yeah.
So I always tell a lot of young athletes, you better have game plan B, C, and D, because game plan number one is not going to always work out there for you. Right. So have other things that you can fall back to, and that's what a lot of professional athletes, they just don't realize. They think their career is going to go on forever, and it's not. Professional wrestling, this is, one of the perfect examples. People don't realize that it actually has the highest death rate of all professions.
Yeah.
Now, a lot of it's due to chemical cocktails, but nevertheless, the number of matches that they take place, the painkillers, the muscle relaxers, something to get them up and going in the morning, something to put them down at night, and then all the other stuff that's going in between. I need to have gargantuous muscles. I need steroids. I need growth hormones. So it's just a vicious cycle.
It is, and you really kind of hit on my next question. HBO, of course, having a series that came out, and John Oliver talking about, there needs to be some time off. There needs to be insurance, for these wrestlers in the WWE and other companies.
Yeah.
That seems like a no-brainer.
Well, when you think about both industries, there is no pension program. You're basically contracted labor. But you see other types of team type sports. There is something for the NBA teams. There are things for NFL teams. There actually are things that they can fall back upon, where there are unions, things of nature. It will happen eventually. Keyword there is eventually. It's going to happen. It's who actually holds all the power. The athletes actually hold the power, but they're lured by the almighty dollar. It's easy to break one off from the herd and say, "Hey, we got this deal for you." And as I go on, and that temptation of dollars, I could take care of myself and my family. What are these other guys going to do for me? So it's again, that's kind of the tough part about it, but that's part of what's all there. So trust me, I know a lot of the background work. It was always just a part-time job to me. Not even a job, a part-time hobby, because there was no real money in UFC. There was no money on the independent professional wrestling scene. Ironically to say, I made my best paydays working for the WWF at the time, now known as WWE.
Yeah, and Dan, final thing here tonight to all the viewers out there at WrestlingInc.com is this right here. What makes someone successful in any endeavor? Obviously, a lot of success for you.
It's interesting. I boil it all down to one word: sacrifice. What that means, it touches in a whole lot of different areas. Everyone has 24 hours in a day. How do you utilize your day? And to me, it's like going, I work usually on average 18 hours a day. I need 6 hours of sleep. And then I'm ready to go again. I've worked for myself since 1992. Now again, it was scary in the beginning, but fast forward today, I wouldn't have it any other way because of the opportunities. And fast forward to today, even I'll be turning 61 here shortly. Every day when I fire up the laptop, it's like Christmas of new opportunities. And I think it's pretty incredible that people are still calling me. They want to book me for this, book that, because I have a great story to tell. I'm an athlete. I defied certain barriers young in my age. I was doing things at 18 years of age that I should never have been doing, but I'm doing these things at 18 years of age. I'm beating world champions, Olympic champions. And then on the other side of the mountain now, going on to 61 now, I'm still defying the age barriers. I'm still out in rings. I'm still doing things that they're like, I have so many other guys here. They're like, you look the same. What are you doing?
Yeah, you really do. That's the crazy
Well,
one.
it's not the real color of my hair. I mean, everything is Snow White anymore. I mean, the stash is Snow White, eyebrows Snow White. The vanity is, I color.
What's the secret?
Yeah,
you
well,
know?
yeah. A lot of shadowing. Okay, turn certain ways. Yeah, no. But I mean, I still work out almost on a daily basis. I watch what I eat. I mean, it's the inevitability is we will all die. You will die quicker by sitting around doing nothing.
Right.
I'm a big believer that I've already lived the life of half a dozen men already. I plan on living a life of a few more before the beast ever throws in the towel.
That's right, baby. Dan the Beast Severn, thank you so much. It was a lot of fun. Right here at Wrestlecon for WrestlingInc.com.